So I want to also take this opportunity to share with you a recent publication, a book that has a collection of texts on the single intention, the Gongchik of Gyoba Jigten Sumgun. So this book is called, just called The Single Intention. The root text, a commentary by Khenpo Kunpel, and an overview by Rinchen Changchu. Yeah, so this book called The Single Intention, recently, maybe a year ago, published in Germany. If you want to purchase this and you have access to Amazon, then I have found it on Amazon. But also if you are in the US, or if you can purchase books from places in the US, there is the bookstore of the Karma Triyana Dharma Chakra, KTD, the main Kamakagyu monastery in upstate New York. Their bookstore carries this book. To order directly from Germany may be a challenge that most of us maybe not prepared to do. So the easiest is to go to KTD's bookstore if you're interested in obtaining a copy of this book. So what I want to share with you is Khenpo Kunpel's commentary. Khenpo Kunpel is one of the main disciples of the famous Nyingma Lama Petro Rinpoche. And Khenpo Kunpel also is known for his very clear and helpful commentary of the Bodhisattva Chayavatara, Bodhichayavatara. So it's already published in English. That commentary is called Nectar of Manjushri's Speech. So that was also Khenpo Kunpel. And it's Kunpel is the abbreviation of Kunzang Pelden, Khenpo Kunzang Pelden, then known as Khenpo Kunpel, Kunpel, Kunpel. So this is a very brief commentary of the 190 statements found in the single intention, found in the Gongchik. So probably a very good place to start for people who are unfamiliar with this collection called the single intention, called Gongchik. So this commentary is called, the title that Khenpo Kunpel gave it is Treasury of Essential Scriptures and Reasoning, Clarification of the Single Intention. As usual, at the beginning of such compositions, the author would compose a few expressions of homage to certain individuals that are relevant to this text. And so he begins by homage to the Guru Manjushri. So since this is a commentary, so very common for commentaries to begin with paying homage first to Manjushri, because Manjushri is the embodiment of the wisdom, the knowledge, wisdom, knowledge of all Buddhas. And so we pay homage to that. We pay homage to Manjushri to help us understand, to see clearly the teachings. So then Khenpo Kunpel continues, I prostrate respectfully to the omniscient one, who is the sun among speakers. The essence of the wisdom, love, and power of the ocean of victorious ones. So this is paying homage to the Buddha, the omniscient one, the all-knowing one. The essence of wisdom, love, and power. So sometimes these are called the three essential qualities of Buddhas. We are familiar with the wisdom and love. Love here includes it's and sometimes it's written as compassion, sometimes it's written as love. So love and compassion are like, in a way you could say, is two sides of the same coin. And so wisdom is usually embodied by Manjushri. Love and compassion usually embodied by Avalokiteshvara, and power usually embodied by Vajrapani. And so here, the essence of these three qualities of the ocean of the victorious ones, the jinas, the conquerors, the Buddhas, is the all-knowing one, the Buddha. Venerable Guru, unequaled in kindness, who performs the activities of the victorious ones, please enjoy the lotus lake in my heart. So now this Buddha is identified with our own Guru. So this Guru, it says, please enjoy the lotus lake of my heart. This is an expression that means, may I never be separated from the Guru. May I always have the Guru in my heart. Yeah. Then Nagarjuna was the great pioneer of the teachings of the definitive meaning, as was prophesied by the victorious one, by the Buddha. His emanation was Jigten Sumgen. Victorious Drigompa, who supremely proclaim your teachings like the great roar of a fearless lion, I follow you with 100-fold faith. All the essential intentions held by all the victorious ones without exception in the past, present, and future flow into one in the nature of the profound dependent origination. The single text explains it all. I shall briefly clarify the intention just as it is. So here, in a very helpful way, well, first of all, Khenpo Kumpel repeats what is well accepted, which is that Jigten Sumgen is a Tibetan emanation, a case of Nagarjuna appearing in Tibet in the person of Jigten Sumgen. So then here, it says, so that's one point. The second point that I want to point out for this homage section is, it says, so it says all the essential intentions. Intentions here can also mean realizations. So all the essential realizations that are held by Buddhas of past, present, and future, they flow into one, meaning they are all can be understood as one single point, which is the nature of profound dependent origination, or interdependent arising, or dependent origination, pratitya samutpada in Sanskrit. And it says here, in this praise, Khenpo Kumpel says, and this text explains it all. This text explains it all. So, of course, dependent origination was extensively taught by the Buddha, by the historical Shakyamuni Buddha. In a very famous verse that is also now used as a dharani, as a mantra, called the dependent origination dharani, which is ye dharma hetu prabhava hetu te san, that one. And turn into a mantra, then it becomes Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetu te san tatagato hayavada tate sanchayo niroda evam vadi mahashramanaye. And then you add swaha to make it into like a mantra, a dharani. But this verse was first uttered by one of the Buddha's disciples when he was asked by Shariputra. This is before Shariputra became a disciple of the Buddha. Shariputra saw this monk and was very impressed by this monk. And so he stopped the monk and he said, "Who are you? Who is your teacher? And what does your teacher teach?" Then this monk said, "My teacher is Gautama, who is the Buddha. And what does he teach?" And he said, "Ye dharma hetu prabhava hetu tesan," which is, it says, of all phenomena that exist, they arise from causes and conditions. And likewise, when causes and conditions disperse, then phenomena ceases to exist. So that is basically dependent origination. So everything Buddha taught is on this dependent origination. Then you can say Nagarjuna came a few hundred years later to fully expand on this dependent origination, but a lot of how he expanded on that is from the side of emptiness, Nagarjuna. Because emptiness is the other side of dependent origination. And so Nagarjuna greatly explained and in a way systematized this central teaching of dependent origination, but from the perspective of the sutras. Then Jigten Sumgön, being here considered as an emanation of Nagarjuna in Tibet, he also taught dependent origination, but we can understand that when he taught dependent origination, he was teaching it from a, you could say, secret mantra perspective. And included in secret mantra perspective is the Mahamudra perspective. And so then he greatly gave instructions on dependent origination, on emptiness. But for him, he tended to focus more on the dependent origination side rather than the emptiness side, relative to Nagarjuna. And then Nagarjuna, relative to Jigten Sumgön, tended to teach this topic from the side of emptiness. Of course, in the end, these are two sides of the same coin. They are not two different things, but the same reality, the same principle, seen from two different sides. One from the side of emptiness, the other from the side of dependent origination. Nagarjuna taught from the side of emptiness, using mainly sutra style. Jigten Sumgön mainly taught from the side of dependent origination, using secret mantra, Mahamudra styles of expression. In the end, both are non-contradictory and pointing at the same thing. So this is good for us to understand. So this commentary continues. The Exalted One, the Lord of Sages, which is the Buddha Shakyamuni, prophesied the coming of the glorious Nagarjuna, the great pioneer, in many sutras and tantras. Then the second victorious one, the Dharma Lord Jigten Sumgön, appeared as the essential emanation of Nagarjuna. So this is Khenpo Kunpel expanding on that point of how Jigten Sumgön is basically Nagarjuna. There are three topics for explanation of Jigten Sumgön's extraordinary, unique Dharma teaching called the sacred dharma of the single intention, which is virtuous in the beginning, the introduction, then virtuous in the middle, the main part of the text, and virtuous at the end, the conclusion. So Khenpo Kumpel says, so there are three parts. The virtuous in the beginning is the introduction, which is a discussion of the title, as well as the expression of homage in the root text. We just covered the expression of homage of the commentary, Khenpo Kumpel's commentary. Then single intention Gongchik itself has also the section on paying homage. And so that's the virtues at the beginning. Then the main part is the 190 statements, and then the conclusion. There are some verses at the end. So these are the three parts. So for today, we will stop here. So each day I plan to go over a few pages from this book at the end of our daily Achi smoke offering, cleansing offering practice. I thought that it's good for us to look at a few pages from this because mainly, Achi Choki Droma pledged to be a Dharmapala for the teachings of Kyopa Jigten Sungren. And so if we want to fully come under the protection of Achi Choki Droma, if we want to fully become close to her, then no better way, really. In a way, even better than doing the cleansing offering is to cleanse our body, speech, and mind with the teachings of Kyopa Jigten Sungren. In a way, when we do that, when we truly do that, you could say Achi Choki Droma don't even have a choice to protect or not to protect you. She will automatically protect us. But of course, interdependence, is very amazing. Hard for us to see completely how it works. So you can say that the interdependence of doing the cleansing smoke offering of Achi and learning a little bit about Kyopa Jigten Sungren's teachings, that interdependence can bring about transformations and changes in our temporary situation and in the long-term situation for sure.